Howdy folks, this is a morning shave. Today's shaver, this will be my first time using this, so I'm not real sure how this is going to turn out. It's a Schick Injector. Still think I've got some more cleaning to do on this handle. Otherwise, it came, with previous shaves. It looks like it was on there and I cleaned it up a little bit. Anxious to see how this shave turns out. Soap of the day, Jeeves of Hudson Street, Conservatory. It came in this paper wrapper and a puck. That's the way I ordered it. It comes in a jar also. And I have it in my Old Spice mug. Whipping up some lather with the Amack brush. It has a 24 millimeter synthetic knot sunrise. I've used this brush a few times and works quite well for me. I have a little bit already working in the Old Spice mug. Aftershave of the day is going to be Stetson. And yes, I do have my alum block with the rubber band. Witch hazel, Dickinson. And off camera I'll be using my beard balm, Cremo. And that's what it looks like. I'll go ahead and wet the face and get started here in the first pass. This will be a 3-pass shave. The soap that I got in a puck is I guess you might say it's definitely not a croak by any means, but it's not a hard puck. You can even push your finger in it, but it'll take a little bit of work to get if you're, in other words, scooping it out, putting it in another container. It's nowhere near as hard as a Williams, in other words, or an Arco. Not real good at describing scents outside if it's a sweet smell or if it's a tobacco smell. It smells good. I can't even begin to tell you what when I smell it, what does it make me think of. In other words, it's not quite like Jamie's ginger peach. It's quite obvious just by the name. I mentioned that one there because the scent on that one is it's just awesome. As it goes for, in other words, waking your senses about food. This room, if I guess you might say maybe more of a cologne scent, maybe. At least that's what my nose. I've been suffering from sinus issues for a good number of years. I mean, we're talking in a neighborhood of probably 40 years. So what I smell, it's at times it's not even close. First pass here. One of these days, maybe I'll find what I'm needing to figure out what's the difference between how some of these are categorized as a E, a G, an I, a J. I'm not real sure what all that means to me. I know some say that depending on which one of these you get, these Schick Injectors, some are more aggressive than others. Of the few that I haven't found anything that's aggressive just yet. This is the first use on this Schick Injector blade, and feels fine so far. first use on the blade, so like some say, some of these blades after the first or second use they seem to feel a lot better, but I don't have any issues with this one. As you can see, it doesn't seem to have any problems with the amount of lather that it seems to gather up on it. It moves right on through the razor without a problem for anybody that hasn't shaved with one of these. Pretty late in the game when it comes to wet shaving. Just over a year in wet shaving, so if you haven't heard my story before, I went over 15 years with a beard, so shaving was pretty much limited. Upper cheeks, neck, as it goes for shaving with a cartridge, and quit doing that quite some time ago and just using what I used to trim my beard hair with. That's what I trim my upper cheeks and my neck with. Guess you might say I got a smoother shave out of my beard trimmer. And it was a whole lot cheaper too, and more enjoyable. May not be in the closest trim by any means, but it was working for me for what I needed to do. And how I got to the point of shaving this part here off is my wife was she'd been after me for quite some time, and to a degree she still is with what's left, but the agreement was if I could find a way to shave and get a smooth, comfortable shave, that I would leave this part but shave the rest. And it occurred to me that men many years ago shaved differently, in other words without the cartridge. So I started looking into it and was really surprised the number of folks that still shave with the DE razor, Schick Injectors, straight razors, shavettes. In other words, darn near anything that's been used in the past is still being used now, just not quite like it used to. But judging from what I've been seeing, what a person sees online, I'm going to cross the green now, second pass, that it appears that some of this is making a comeback. I have shaved with the older Schick Injectors and got great shaves. I'd have to say if I would have started with those in my younger days, I probably never would have tried a cartridge. Of course, a lot of it also has to do with today's soap. If I was using a can, I don't know. I think I'd have to say the stuff in the can, the best experience I had, not exactly cheap, even way back then, was Noxzema. Was the best stuff I tried that I can remember. Now, this was many years ago, so the memory is pretty fuzzy. So in other words, the difference in between Gillette, what back then, Colgate, Barbasol. Barbasol, of course, still being made, but those never made much of an impact on my memory on the difference in between them. Outside of price. Heck, I started growing a beard shortly after I graduated, so yeah, shaving has never been one of my favorite things to do, but times definitely have changed. Like I say, you know, the price of the soap almost goes along with the saying, get what you paid for. That nowadays, you know, going the, I guess you might say, up front, yeah, you're paying more, but the soap lasts quite a while. And it's much better than using the stuff in a can, in my opinion. Just my opinion. If you can get a smooth, comfortable shave with the stuff in a can, I'm glad you can, because I was just really struggling doing that. Just wasn't working well for me. Alright, pass number 3, against the grain. As you can see, I can still smell the scent. This is good stuff. I really like it. Matter of fact, I bought this version. In other words, the version to put in like an Old Spice mug, because I enjoy using the mugs. I had to get stuff in the, comes in its own container because I couldn't buy enough Old Spice mugs to house all the soap. This really is a good scent. Need an aftershave that smells like this. It's a shame there's not, at least if there is one, I don't know what it is. It smells great. Pass number 3, against the grain. Yeah, this is good soap. I have a little bit of it. Didn't get quite started quick enough to have all the scents that he started out with, so I think I only have 4 or 5. Sorry, just not enough for me. I wanted all of them. Not sure if you can hear that feedback, but against the grain, you can definitely hear it. I enjoy shaving with the injector razors. The older ones are just, I just can't say enough about how great the shaves were with them. Just awesome. You can see that the shaving cream has no problem working right through the razor. In other words, not clogging up at all. May be kind of odd for some folks to understand the excitement of getting a good shave, but after I'm in my 50s, went many years with horrible shaves. When I was in the Army, awful. Awful shaves. In other words, you have to shave. Didn't have a choice. And I just here recently discovered, I guess you might say, a more traditional way of shaving. This is a much better shave for me than what shaving with the cartridge. Even though I'm ultimately, yeah, I did spend more money, not on the blades, but on soap and the hardware, but I'm enjoying the heck out of it. All that stuff that's vintage, years gone by, yeah, wasn't a bad shave. It just fell out of favor because you know how we are as humans. New stuff comes out, you want to try it, just like soap. New soap comes out, you want to give it a try. For me, it just didn't work well for me. Once I learned I guess you might say a decent technique on how much pressure to put and what ought to use in face prep prior to your shave. Some people might be able to get by with less prep, but in other words, the hot towel to the face, sometimes using bloom water. From time to time I might use a shaving oil. Just depends on the condition of your face, which is to me important. You have to understand those sort of things when you go to shave. If your face is already kind of dry, sunburn and whatnot, you might want to put use a shaving oil, or maybe even go as far as something like this skin therapy oil or something on there to help your skin repair itself. Alright, let's go ahead and try the alum block, see how the shave went. I mean, it felt fine to me. Sometimes I still end up with stinging in the usual areas. Right over here, which is, for me, over here is kind of typical. Where it still wants to, it just stays that way. And it's not a bad thing, it's just, I know how much stinging I get whether or not things didn't go quite as smooth or not. And this was a pretty good shave. Witch hazel. This one here, it has a what this says here is pore perfecting toner, and I have the version that's just say it's just straight witch hazel. This one here to me has some moisturizing properties to it. I use witch hazel, and now I use alum on all of my shaves. And my skin does feel a lot better. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to use it consistently over a period of time, but yeah. May not look like it, but I know how my face feels now. Alright, go back over what I've been shaving with today. Schick Injector. This is the first use on this blade. Had a good shave today with it. Soap of the day, Jeeves of Hudson Street. See if there we go. Conservatory. Got it in the putt form. Put it in my Old Spice mug. That's what it looks like in there. And today I used the Amack brush, 24mm synthetic knot sunrise. Off camera, I'll be using the beard balm pretty much religiously every day on my beard, otherwise it gets kind of wild. And get ready to put on some Stetson. For me, I really like the scent of Stetson. I know some people may not. Scents are very subjective, but not only do I like the scent, I like what they put in Stetson because of what my face feels like after the fact. In other words, your post-shave feel, I guess you might say, in other words, you can feel some moisturizing, like vitamin E or whatever it might be. Aloe makes my face feel a lot better throughout the day. My face doesn't feel greasy, but you can feel that it's still working, even though the scent might be gone, but you can still feel the rest of it working. Which, to me, that's what's important. So, we had a little bit of rain. If you've been watching any of the football games, what's been going on in Oklahoma down towards Texas, yeah, there's been a little bit of lightning and whatnot, but so stay safe, and Smooth shaves to you.